A pleasure to meet all at last. And so, for today's piece, it's probably appropriate that I get to talk about something that correlates with the railroading. Yeah, I'm once again doing this because this time around, I do have something big that I'm in fact going to be sharing with you guys. So, one thing I can say is that while railroading has done a lot for my life, especially throughout my childhood, the fact is that it's impacting my adulthood just as effectively so. What I simply mean by that is that you can say that while I have grown up with a lot of things relating to Nerf and Hot Wheels, as well as YouTubing and video games, it's fair to say that I could very much be stepping back from those interests. So, some might not think of it as a real big way to grow, but the fact is that with Nerf, for example, there's only been so much that we've gotten over the past few years or so. And it does seem that Nerf has been greatly losing a lot of interest in society. A lot of people might have certain videos made about Nerf recently, but the point is that Nerf's one of those things that's been fading off from a lot of people's minds. And then when you think about it even further, some might just think of it as something that's out of touch with the marketplace. And while they do happen to thrive even today, the heavy competition against other toy dart gun properties out there from companies such as Buzzbee and Adventure Force and many others out there. Alongside that, you got the competition from other toy companies as well as other things in general. I mean, look at Legos, for instance. They happen to be taking up at least 4 shelves in the Target Menominee Falls alone. And I'm pretty sure that in other Target locations across the country, Legos happen to inhabit more shelves than either Nerf or Hot Wheels. So it's safe to say that Lego has been really superseding both of them over the years. And while I have been able to hop on the bandwagon of my own accordance, paying tribute to a few Lego-related personnel on YouTube in the process, it's actually pretty much making more sense nowadays that Lego would actually be even better than Nerf or Hot Wheels. Even mixed together, it seems like they hardly stand a chance. I mean, Hot Wheels is still thriving pretty well. They've been releasing hundreds of cars each year, some of which are just recolors of old models and some of which are reproductions of other models that we hadn't seen in a long time, and a good majority of which happen to be newer models. In 2026, we had gotten at least a few dozen in the market, so we do have ourselves a pretty good spot of things when you really put it into consideration. I will say that we are in a good spot for Hot Wheels. With Nerf, maybe not so much. With Lego, definitely. But going back to how my interest in these things have been fading off, well, with Lego, it's something that I have been making mostly as a means of creating content. With Nerf and Hot Wheels, I've been known to actively collect these things and keep them around for a while, but slowly I have been chipping away at either collection to a point in which that they're practically becoming non-existent. Yeah. So to put it into simple terms, for anyone that really wants to hear it best, I may consider, at this time, retiring from Nerf, and possibly from Hot Wheels even. Because between both Nerf Secrets Revealed and Hot Wheels Hilarity, 2 franchises that I made based off of 2 popular toy brands that I've grown up with over the years, we're kind of getting to a point in which that they're eventually starting to become annulled. As in, they're probably not going to get nearly as much attention nowadays. And because I had ended both franchises by last year, it does seem to make a lot of sense that both franchises might not really be around for much longer, and between both toy lines, Hot Wheels and Nerf, we might not get to see a whole lot of them anymore. And I'm sure that Legos might be partially to blame here, but there also could be others. But what exactly does this mean on my end? Well, first of all, railroading has been slowly creeping back into my life, and there has been some retooling in my own office, for instance, that used to be occupied with Nerf and Hot Wheels related stuff. But at the same time, I've also been collecting Legos. I've also gotten a hold of a lot of books and novels, basically stimulating the mind, not just with the body, with other things. While at the same time, I'm also going to be doing a lot in terms of things that are more train related, as in railroading. A few good examples in which include some decorations that I've hung up on the walls, a few posters in which, a few logos in which, some of which were custom made pieces on Etsy. Those are just a few mere examples and things that I intend on decorating the room with. At the same time, I also do plan on having other things worth putting together as a means to decorate the room, as well as have the room nicely accented in a way that makes it feel very welcoming for any rail fan that intends to visit. So, and I'm probably not going to be talking about just what the house has to offer, but with what other things there are as well. So, apart from what I've talked about, by creating various projects on the railroads and by visiting various museums and other such locations, by railroading standards, of course, there has been a lot of other interests that have piqued my mind, body, and spirit, especially when it comes to the terms of transitioning towards something new, since, after all, I have in fact just established that retirements from Nerf and Hot Wheels might just be a start of things to come. Even if it's not fully railroading, it's gonna be something else entirely. So, no matter what the case may be, no matter what other things might come along just as well, I am sure, by all means, that there will be other things that'll be coming into my life just as well. And even if it's not wholly the case, it sure will be something that amounts to what the future pays up. In layman's terms, change is inevitable. Even by my standards, my own life probably will never remain the same, even if I intend to make it so. Well, I think that's about it for this piece of the Vlog-A-Thon. And I know that most of these have been carrying on for over 7 minutes a time, but let's keep in mind, there's a lot of material that I do in fact have that I intend to make that's going to be even bigger than what you might ever think about. So, apart from announcements and apart from projects that I intend to create for the rest of the year, I'm still at the very least excited for what else the future has to hold for me. Because even if it's not complete for me, my life will still build up to a point in which that the challenges, as well as the ease and pleasure, come to balance out a situational and unique life for me. Well, with that in mind, make sure to like and subscribe, comment, follow me wherever you can find me, and stay on the Hollywood side for more content.